For the latest on the government shutdown, let's bring in House Administration Committee Chairman Bryan Steil. Congressman, welcome.
Thanks for having me on.
So the optics of the government shutdown are not great. You got flight delays. You've got air traffic controllers working more than a month now without a paycheck. House Democratic leader Hakeem Jeffries is blaming President Trump. Let's play it, and I'll get you to react.
Donald Trump has spent more time talking to Hamas and the Chinese Communist Party than he has in talking to Democrats on Capitol Hill to end the Trump shutdown.
Mr. Chairman, how do you respond?
The consequences of the Schumer shutdown continue to build. It's Republicans and President Trump that believe we should reopen the government. In fact, we passed legislation now over a month ago to do just that, a clean CR with no policy changes, continuing funding at historical levels. And if we look at the Senate, Chuck Schumer has voted for that 13 times during the Biden administration, 29 of the past 30 CRs. Chuck Schumer and Democrats in the Senate have supported. What changed on this one? The politics have changed, not the policies. The Democrats are beholden to their radical base, and you have to look no further than the mayoral election, not only coming up in New York City, but in Minneapolis or Seattle. The radical left of the Democratic Party is who is driving the ship, and Chuck Schumer is willing to allow the chaos and the consequences to continue to build for his political benefit, and it's a disaster for the American people.
Two federal judges late yesterday ordered the Trump administration to come up with the money to keep those SNAP benefits continuing on. While I do not want to see people go hungry, if you make carve-outs for things like that, does that create any incentive to reopen the government?
Well, this is yet another stopgap measure that doesn't solve the underlying problem. The underlying problem should be that we should pass the clean CR and fully reopen the government. This stopgap measure provides funding that doesn't even equal one full month. Of course, these emergency funds were in place to make sure, for example, if there was, say, a hurricane, that there'd be funds available to surge into a given location. And so this is less than 1 month's funding. It provides additional chaos into the system. Yes, it does provide some relief for families who do need food benefits. 700,000 families in the state of Wisconsin are dependent on this program. But the long-term or substantive solution should be Democrats in the Senate changing course and providing full funding for SNAP benefits so that families who are dependent on this program or air traffic controllers across the country know that there is a substantive and long-term solution. The consequences of the action, the recklessness of Democrats in the Senate, frustratingly continue to build.
To another red-hot issue from Politico, Democrats plot messaging blitz ahead of Obamacare hikes. Quote, in Wisconsin, Democrats are launching nearly 400 canvassing events this weekend focused on health care. A major liberal advocacy group, Protect Our Care, will push a six-figure digital campaign. How is that issue playing in your district?
Well, this is where the importance of getting the real information to the American people is so absolutely essential. It's nothing new to know that liberal causes are going to be out trying to distort information in the state of Wisconsin or across the country. It's where we have to get out and explain to the American people what's going on, because the broader corporate legacy media will fail to do that. It's actually Republicans and President Trump who continue to stand up for common sense to make sure that we're providing that funding, a clean CR, to make sure that critical programs are funded. And it's Democrats and radicals in the United States Senate that continue to get in the way. It's unquestionable the Democrats are going to try to distort exactly what's taking place, but the reality is very clear. Democrats are playing politics with the lives of Americans, with air traffic controllers, and with SNAP benefits, and the chaos continues to build until Democrats in the Senate come to the table and reopen the government.
Many folks are likely getting sticker shock as they look at Obamacare premiums this weekend. Is Congress going to need to do something about that issue?
We know that healthcare is too expensive. The Affordable Care Act made healthcare unaffordable. We have an absolute need to make sure that we're working to lower the costs of healthcare. It's Democrats who have put us in this position. There's a lot of negotiations that we can and should be doing in a program that is ripe with waste, fraud, and abuse and only driving costs higher. We should engage in those negotiations when the government reopens. The Democrats in the Senate want to have a hostage while we engage in those negotiations. We know the best way to do that is to negotiate and have that discussion about lowering the cost of healthcare while the government is open. and families aren't struggling to figure out how they're going to make ends meet as food share and SNAP benefits have expired due to the recklessness of Democrats in the United States Senate.
You got about 15 seconds left. Do you think this shutdown ends anytime soon?
You know, I think Tuesday, with these elections, with socialists running for mayor, not only in New York City, but in Minneapolis and Seattle and other locations across the country, will be a major deciding moment in time. We need to reopen, and hopefully voters rebuke these socialists who are running for office across the country.
Chairman Bryan Steil of the great state of Wisconsin, great to see you. Thanks for your time.
I'm Steve Ducey.
I'm Brian Kilmeade.
And I'm Ainsley Earhart. And click here to subscribe to the Fox News YouTube page to catch our hottest interviews and most compelling analysis.